Now, 16 countries have been designated as countries of particular concern by the U.S. Commission for International Religious Freedom. The Bipartisan Government Commission documents religious freedom worldwide and makes recommendations to the President, Secretary of State and Congress. VOA's Mariama Diallo explains why some countries are on the list, including one superpower.
For the first time in almost 20 years of existence, the U.S. Commission for International Religious Freedom designated Russia as a country of particular concern because of an increase in repressive policies, it says, ranges from administrative harassment to arbitrary imprisonment.
The first thing is to make it clear to the Russian government in words directly, ideally from the President of the United States, that we have grave concerns about the direction of religious freedom, not just the rules, but the trajectory, which has been really concerning of late and played a big role in our decision.
Last month, Russia's Supreme Court ruled the Jehovah's Witnesses religious group was an extremist organization and must hand over all of its properties to the state. Via Skype, Robert Warren.
To be labeled in such a way as though we're extremists is clearly a misapplication of the laws on extremism. Clearly, Jehovah's Witnesses are not really the target of this, or should not be the target, because we're not a threat in Russia or any other country in the world. We're active in over 240 lands.
Warren says 175,000 people in Russia identify with the faith, and since the ruling, the organization's website has been blocked and no Jehovah's Witnesses Bibles have been allowed in the country. The Central African Republic is also a country of particular concern because of ethnic cleansing of Muslims and sectarian violence in this multi-year conflict. This week, hundreds of civilians sought refuge inside a mosque in the CAR town of Bangassou amid ongoing attacks by Christian militias that have killed civilians and UN peacekeepers.
I deplore in particular that these crimes targeted a minority with the intention, without a doubt, to inflame the violence not just in Bangassou, but also in the whole of the territory.
In Myanmar, government and societal discrimination make the Rohingya Muslims vulnerable, some even fleeing the country. Christians are restricted from public worship and subjected to coerced conversion to Buddhism, warranting a country of particular concern designation. The government and the military deny all allegations. In Pakistan, the commission recommended the blasphemy laws be repealed because they are in one way or another a violation of Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The report covered 35 countries, and when it comes to religious freedom, the new administration has to act, they say.
We want the Trump administration to make religious freedom an issue, a priority in its foreign policy.
Well, viewers, reporter Mariama Diallo joins me now for some more on the recommendations on religious freedom around the world. Mariama, first, a fabulous piece there.
Thank you.
Now, if we start with the big boy, this is a superpower, Russia, banning Jehovah's Witnesses, labeling them an extremist group. How does that sound? I mean,
well, I think that's probably why, for the first time in this U.S. USERV's commission, for the first time they decided that Russia had to be designated as a country of particular concern because of that. Basically, just, you know, the Supreme Court of the country decided that the Jehovah's Witnesses were a threat. They were labeled an extremist group, and basically they had to hand over all everything that they have, not everything, like most of their stuff, to the state. So, and when you saw on the report, you saw the person, the representative from the Jehovah's Witnesses saying, wow, calling us an extremist group is a little bit...
A group that operates in over 240 countries openly. It's not a secret organization.
Exactly. And there's just about 170,000 people in Russia, in the big whole of Russia, with all those people who actually observe that faith.
It's unbelievable. Now, we know that some other places like Central African Republic are seriously also affected, mostly because of conflict and rebel activities. The question is, what can realistically, according to officials, the U.S. government do, at least to have some influence on some of these issues in these countries?
Well, the thing is, you have these commissions, and it is a bipartisan commission, and they've been around for 20 years. And their role is to basically look at religious freedom around the world and make recommendations. All they can do is make recommendations to Congress, to the State Department, to the executive branch. But what they can do is do it, but they're not sure what would happen. And I think I'm going to actually print it out just a few points. For example, for Central African Republic, they talk about everything that's happening, but for the recommendations, it talks about basically pressing the Central African Republic authorities, talking to MINUSCA, the peacekeeping mission that is in Central Africa, and you saw Parfait talk about it, the head of the UN peacekeeping mission, talking about disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration, those kinds of things. And it also, I think another point that I saw was that to ensure that, for example, future security forces and police reflects the country's diversity. So those kinds of things are things that the U.S. can push, and other countries can push as well.
We hope things will change, and it's what a shame that a country like Russia should be in the same group as countries in serious conflict like the CAR and other places.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much to talk about, you know. There's like Myanmar and all kinds of other places. So.
Next time, we'll probably have some more time. Well, Mariama, thank you very much. Viewers, reporter Mariama Diallo.